Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to MCubed and Monday Movie News, or Movie News Monday. I can never decide which one I actually want to call it, but both, all of the above. We're talking about the news that came out over the weekend, things like that. Everything that we didn't cover yesterday morning, of course. And how are y'all doing?
Howdy. I've gone a lot more this evening.
I like it.
Howdy, y'all.
MCubed, we say howdy. I like it. But I know Matt hasn't seen it yet. Do y'all want to go ahead and hop into a little Indiana Jones talking?
Yeah, sure.
I think we should.
Just
not
a tad. So the title of this video, of course, is Indiana Jones and the Dial to Doom, because although the Dial to Destiny was a decent film, I actually enjoyed it more than I expected to. It ain't making money. It's not looking good on a couple different levels. And what are y'all thinking? I know, Matt, you haven't seen it yet, but just from like what you've heard, just because Jay and I have already seen it, just from your like complete neutral perspective at the moment, what are your thoughts on Indiana Jones? Does this hurt Lucasfilm? Is it good for Lucasfilm? What's it look like for Indiana Jones as the franchise, Harrison Ford? Whatever your thoughts are, shoot it to us.
You can go on that one, Joe.
Right. It's not a bad film. It's all right. It's not, it's much better than Crystal Skull. Some of the action sequences are a bit long. This is a 2.5-hour film that probably would have been better if it was a 2-hour film. It doesn't feel like a 2.5-hour film, so I would say immediately that's what you should come away with this film. You don't come away with this film thinking, Jesus, that was long. My Wi-Fi is going down again. Let me just turn my definition down. I'm already on low. Shit. But
still sound good.
Cool. Yeah, I know. I look good too normally, but my Wi-Fi's terrible. I do think there's a problem with cinema. I think people aren't going to, since COVID, people just haven't gone back to the cinema. And I do think that's a big problem.
There was, for a long time, all the pandemic and stuff, of course, there's just no box office during that time. And what was there was so small. We finally have kind of gotten back to a point where every movie tends to be making $10 million or more, or at least the three big ones every week tend to make like that $10 million or more, which is good. You want that kind of like double-digit millions number. The last couple of weeks have not looked pretty for that. We've kind of gotten back to not great numbers, but consistency. Just I think from Megan, like the beginning of this year, I think this entire year has been really solid for the amount of films and money and revenue they've gotten. They don't typically get those big old box office busting numbers that we'd like to see a lot of the times, but they are making money. It's just, can they make their budget back at the end of the day is typically, I guess, the question now, which is quintessentially a problem with movies at the moment. And the last couple of weeks have definitely been showing that.
I'd actually say genuinely there does seem to be a run of 2 or 3 films now that were expected to do a lot better. The Flash wasn't a very good film. We know The Flash wasn't a very good movie, but people thought it was going to be brilliant.
Oh yeah, that's Tom Cruise even came out there and telling us like this is maybe the best comic book movie ever made.
Yeah, but still nobody went to watch it, and that can't just be word of mouth from people going, "Oh no, actually this is terrible." Nobody went to watch it in the first. I could understand the drop off in the next week, when it had like an 80% drop off or something. But it had a crap first week.
It had an awful first week.
Yeah,
and
talking quickly.
Sorry,
my picture. But yeah, I think there's a cinema problem.
I agree. It felt like it was kind of coming back, and then. Sorry, so what?
I can't remember the last time I went to the cinema. I was talking about this with my missus. The last time I genuinely think the last time I went to the cinema was to see Star Wars.
Which one? In 1917?
The last one, come out? The last Star Wars film.
That's 2019. So that's what, 4 years now?
Mm-hmm.
3.5 almost.
Yep.
Damn. So, yeah. So I'm with you, Jamie. I believe there's a cinematic issue because obviously we're a little more gung ho on these things, but Matt's like the perfect example for a general moviegoer. And if people haven't been in a movie in 4 freaking years, I know 2.5, 3 of those have kind of been because of the pandemic and such. But like, damn, like there's still a lot of great movies coming out that should be enticing for your general audiences. And that's kind of the thing. A lot of them are making money back that initial weekend, maybe the first 2 or 3 weekends. And then another big movie comes out and they don't make their budget back, or they don't make what they expected to. So then they don't get that sequel and they don't get whatever, which I'm okay with. If we have if we kind of rope ourselves back into individual films and not focus so much on IP and universes, if that's the thing that happens because of this, that would be an upside. But if none of those things can be successful, because nobody's supporting those right now either, the things that are making money tend to be the IP, the franchise, and things like that. And half the time after the fact, it's just people complaining about what they saw instead of enjoying something new and refreshing and a new take on something. It's iffy.
Yeah. And how much is the internet blame for that, though? Really, that we're getting. I mean, Indiana Jones again has been slagged off by the hate clickers for months, and most of what they were talking about was unfair. A lot of the leaks that they said about what was in this film turned out to be not true. So you know, I do think YouTube, unfortunately, has a big part to play in this. But the cinema, I don't get it, because watching films at home, it's not like it's cheap.
No, it's just as costly.
Yeah. I keep saying to the wife, I'm going to open a video shop, which obviously wouldn't be a video shop. It would be a DVD shop. But and she's like, no, nobody will go. It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest idea in the world. And I'm like, it costs too much money to stream these movies. Netflix doesn't have the biggest, the big releases. Disney has their own. Disney Plus has their big releases on Disney Plus. Everyone else, though, puts it behind a paywall when it first comes out. So I'm like, I'll get a DVD for a tenner. Because no one has DVD shops anymore, there's no laws about it. So you can rent DVDs. So buy a DVD, rent it out for £3. It's a damn sight cheaper than buying it on, Amazon or what have you. It's 20 quid to watch Anfield. 20 quid.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to open a video shop. Screw it.
I mean, might as well. Like you're making me think just because.
I'm going to jump off.
No worries.
My food is ready. I don't know how this is going to go with the overlay now.
You're going to screw up our overlays. Well,
you made us something beautiful, and it's going to dissipate.
Well, just drop us to a 2.
3, 2, 1.
Out.
That still looks pretty good. No. Well. It hurt me.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Leave it at that.
There we go. I like that. We might get a third person in later, so we'll see. We'll see.
Who knows?
But okay, remind me where we were. I'm too ADD.
Moaning about cinema, but actually, the movie. If you talk Indiana Jones, did it deserve such a poor weekend? And for me, no, it's not a bad film.
It's really not. Real quick, David just put this in here. Last time I went to the cinemas was to see Avatar: Wrath of the Titans, damn, David, come on, man, we got to get you in the movies. I promise there's stuff worth going to see. I promise. I'll be making things to put up there for you sooner than later.
I'm telling you what, I know we're going to talk about the 2023 movies a bit later, but I'm telling you that I had a look at the list of films coming out, and I'm thinking, most of the films that went straight to streaming are better than some of the stuff that's gone to the cinema.
Oh, yeah. What did you just say? I still haven't watched it yet, but Extraction 2 just came out on Netflix, and that's kind of their answer to a blockbuster in a way. But it's a hell of a lot more fun than half the things that we've seen put on the big screen lately, which is
that Apple film, Ghosted. That's really good film. Really? I'd say there's been a few. But much better than all my favorite films this year, other than maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, have been straight streaming movies. which is embarrassing.
Guardians, maybe John Wick 4. I almost said John Wick 5 because Chad Stahelski was talking about the 5th one, which
I'm not a fan of John Wick 4.
I enjoyed it, but it's probably my second least favorite. I don't know. It's either the second or the 4th is my least favorite.
They've been steadily getting downhill for me. And the thing that it's 2 scenes, though, that ruin the movie for me. There's the whole Arc de Triomphe film. And then the French are ignorant. And I'll give them that. They are an ignorant race of people, particularly the Parisians. Have you got any people that subscribe to you that are French?
I don't think we have any. If so, we've got the Cajun French and the Quebec French, not the actual French.
Well, they don't count. They're lovely. They're Canadian.
No, they're all the Canucks.
Yeah, the Canucks. But they're driving around. They're having a fight in the John Wick thing, and not a single French person stopped. None. Not one of them. Now, they're an ignorant people, but surely they're not that ignorant.
If people are shooting at you while other people are falling into your car or on top of your car, I would think somebody would stop eventually.
Well, the French were just sort of like, these people are in my way. I'm trying to go and buy a baguette. And these people are in their way, and they just kept going, which is just stupid. And the other scene was the staircase scene that took 7 weeks to get up that damn staircase. And that was a film that was nearly 3 hours, wasn't it? And it comes out, and you feel like it was 3 hours.
Yeah, I don't feel like it felt like it was 3 hours until that staircase scene, though. And that being said, I did like the staircase scene. It was well executed. It's a difficult thing to film, and I like just about everything they did with it. It just pacing wise doesn't necessarily feel like it felt. It didn't feel like it fell in with the rest of the film. It wasn't jarring necessarily, but it was a slow burn kind of ending in a lot of ways from not so much of a slow burn film, and that just kind of it threw me out of it a little bit.
I would agree with you on that one. That actually, yeah, it was a scene that didn't fit the part of the movie. When we thought we were building up to the end,
yeah,
we then had this, and it's got to have been 20 minutes. What did you do? There you go. It's got to have been 20 minutes, that scene, and it just went. And he's thinking, "Oh, he's nearly there. No, he's back to the start. He's nearly there. No." He's back to the start, and it just went on and on and on. And now I wasn't impressed.
Trekgate, you would be correct here. Yes, the newest indie movie is nowhere near as bad as the last Matrix movie. I haven't even been able to finish the last Matrix movie.
I have.
I couldn't. I love Matrix, but it hurt. It hurt, and I love the cast. I like the Wachowskis and all, but just.
No, that movie didn't work from beginning to end. I know what they were trying to do with it, and they missed. It didn't work.
Okay. Speaking of things working, I guess back to Indiana Jones just a little bit. Trekgate, thank you for commenting so much. You're actually really helping out with comments here because I like this question right here. Did we give Indiana Jones a better send off than Star Wars?
Star Wars has another send off. Do you mean in the solo send off?
No, I'm thinking he's talking about like the sequel trilogy. So sequel trilogy versus Indiana Jones 4-5. Which are you choosing to watch?
Disney will never let Star Wars die. Star Wars will go on forever. They will squeeze every last drop of blood out of that stone,
unless they sell it.
Because it's what Disney.
I don't believe that's going to happen.
Or sell it. No, I think they'll sell other things before they sell Star Wars. But yeah, there was a rumor actually that they were going to sell Star Wars, but then as part of the deal that they would make the new owner only put the stuff on Disney. So it was sort of like we get £1 billion and still keep Star Wars, and like sell it to some sort of investment company or something. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
I don't know if that's how that works typically. I mean, they could make it like that, but
yeah, no, I'm not sure how that works, like you say, but yeah, but yeah, it's
So would you choose? If you're sitting down for an afternoon with your wife and kids, are you going to watch Indiana Jones 4 and 5 and do a bunch of like binging there, or are you going to binge Star Wars sequel trilogy? If you had to choose, which one would you watch?
Ooh, neither. I'll watch something else. I would. The best send off for Indiana Jones was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, totally.
That should have been the end of it. I watched it a couple of days ago. It's just as good as I remember watching it at the cinema the first time. And I was about 15 when that came out first time, and I watched it at the cinema, and I was just blown away by it. It was an incredible movie. They should never have done any more. The last Star Wars 3, the first one out of the trilogy was the best.
Oh, easily.
And then they went downhill from there. But actually, I don't hate any of the last Star Wars trilogy, but I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I don't get hung up on a lot of what the Star Wars fans get hung up on. So for me, it's sort of like if they did a Star Trek, when they did the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, and I got genuinely angry about the canon changes, and they changed the Enterprise and things like this. That's what Star Wars fans do with the last trilogy, and I get that. Because I don't care so much, I don't notice it, I don't care. I just thought they were 3 very different films, and they almost made like the middle one almost like a fucking comedy, which was just bizarre. No, but I thought all 3 of them were okay, to be honest. I was like, they're good enough. I'll watch them again.
They hurt me specifically because I love Star Wars that much, so I probably would choose to watch Indiana Jones 4 and 5 over them. But I don't hate any of them. I like all 3 in their own ways, I guess. It's just they didn't belong in the Skywalker saga, if that's what we're coining it. They really belonged there, like The Last Jedi as a Star Wars film. If it was a Star Wars film that did not include Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa and all the main characters, that might be one of my favorite Star Wars films. But because it was just kind of crammed into the story of everybody that we know and love, and then it just deconstructs all of them instead of allows them to be heroes. This is not a franchise for deconstructing. And if we do want to deconstruct, Andor's for that. And Andor did it beautifully and wonderfully.
Yeah.
And Rogue One, in a way, is not really a deconstruction. It's still that very sci-fi. So what?
Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars movie under Disney by a mile. I thought it was clever. I thought it was a bit too long, but I think all Star Wars films are a bit too long. So I think every single one of them, like I cut half an hour out of that film, and it's great. Trek Gates just said there, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, just as long as you don't think of them as Star Trek movies, they're good. And I agree with him, actually. They're great. They're really good, fun movies. They're just not Star Trek. As long as you just don't think of it like Star Trek. But I get hung up on the things, Star Trek, Stargate, a couple of other shows. I really get hung up on the canon, like you do with Star Wars and Star Wars fans do. And sometimes I shouldn't. I should calm down, let it go. It's just a story. But they make me angry.
Yes, but at other times you just think about like all the years and effort and time and mind and brain power that people put into to make this what it is, and then to just tear it apart at other times is like, yeah, you can do that, but do it with another franchise. Do it with somebody. If you want to do that, make your own franchise to deconstruct. Make your own franchise to do this. Like that's not what people are paying to go see. And you're just aggravating them at the end of the day. And they know that. The producers know that. They want to do something interesting and cool. And I don't blame them for that, but that's not good producing.
Well, the problem is, though, I think a lot of the time with these big franchises is they don't want to do something interesting and different. That's the problem. Star Wars. How many things are going to be on Tatooine? Somewhere. But Star Trek, the Enterprise. Oh, this is a different version of the Enterprise again. I don't want it. If they'd have called, they had a series called Enterprise at the end of the old Trek, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm just saying, if they'd have called that, because that annoyed a lot of Trekkies immediately, because the original Star Trek Enterprise 1701 was the first Enterprise. It actually says it repeatedly in the original series. And then they created this other Enterprise, but they called it the NX. They said, oh, this isn't a real Enterprise. It's an experimental ship. So it's not really, so it's okay.
It's the prototype.
Really broken canon. And Trekkies, they're going, you fucking broke canon. What we should have done was just called it like the Endeavour or something. And they don't need to keep going back and retelling the same damn story or going to the same place. We don't need to see young Luke Skywalker. We can see there are other Star Wars particularly is massive. The universe is massive.
Huge.
There's hundreds of thousands of planets they could explore, but
literally a galaxy of exploration. But
everything. So I mean, just like stop telling us. In a way, I'd like with these big franchises though, I'd like them to let the chains off and just go. Let's tell a different story, and they did with Andor.
Yeah,
even Andor's telling a story building up to Rogue One. You could argue it's not really a different story. It's a prequel of a prequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like let the chains off. I don't need to see the fourth Captain Kirk. I don't need to see it. Give me something else. Give me a new character to fall in love with. Stop telling. But they're scared. I think they're scared.
Yeah, but and they can do that without Last Jediing or something like that, or even the new Trek kind of stuff with deconstructing the old stuff. You don't have to poo-poo and take apart the old stuff to make something new, different, and good. And I just hope they get that in their brains over time. So talking about all this kind of stuff might segue into the Doom aspect of stuff, because there's a lot of Doom around town nowadays. Does this Indiana Jones flop as of now spell doom for Lucasfilm outside of Star Wars? Because they just canceled Willow. We everybody was excited for Willow, and then kind of people watched that second episode and they were like, "What the hell is this?" I finished Willow, and then I thought, "What the hell was that?" And
you know what? So I've got about a month after watching the end of Willow. I remember sat there going, "Oh, I've got to watch the end of Willow." I forgot to watch the final episode. I'll go back and watch that. And then I realized I did watch the final episode. So I was like, "How does it end?" So I watched it again. And I sat there thinking, how does it end? I can't tell you now how that series ended. It was so random. It was just, and I was really excited. I thought, this is genius. Whoever thought of doing a Willow TV series, you're a genius. And I watched it. I'm like, this is just so random.
I was so excited for it, maybe even ecstatic for it. And as it was going on, it just each episode felt like, and there were glimpses in each episode of greatness. I thought each one was just like little bits were like, oh, okay, we have something here. And oh my God, what's his name? That played the oh God, what's the actor? I should know it off the top of my head. The guy that wasn't Val Kilmer but was posing as Val Kilmer. Mad Mardigan.
Yes, I know who you mean.
It's somebody
no, his mate. He was in Cuffs, and
he's in so many things. He's an actor that should just pop off the top of my head. But
yes, it should. It'll come to us as soon as we stop trying to think about it.
Exactly. I was waiting for him to show up, and then I was waiting for Mad Mardigan to show up, and neither one. Christian Slater. That's the guy's name.
He just said it 3 times.
Did you really? I was talking over my bad.
Yeah. I'm so clever, Christian Slater. Yeah, I said that, Harris.
That's how my brain got it. But yeah, Christian Slater, he did great for the little bit he was in. He was the only one that seemed to like actually be enjoying and not like over taking serious. But besides the guy that played Borman, I liked him generally, I guess, in the series, because he's the only thing that felt like part of the old Willow.
I liked all of the characters pretty much. I didn't mind the little princessy girl, even though the baby from the original, she was okay. The 2 lesbians were fine. Am I allowed to say lesbian?
I didn't mind any of that. It just all of them felt a little too teenage angsty for me, and I'm just like,
I didn't mind them. I can't quite put my finger on why Willow failed. That's have to admit. Warwick Davis's acting was awful in the first couple of episodes, but it got better.
It did.
The CGI was fine. The villains were quite good. I can't tell you why Willow was bad. But
the CGI was fine, I think, generally, and then it was awful when they did magic, and then it was awful whenever it actually mattered, I think. And that was one of the things that hurt it a lot. The story wasn't all that strong. I don't know. We could have a whole other episode about just Willow. But there is no more Willow for Lucasfilm. After this, no more Indiana Jones for Lucasfilm. And I'm just saying they're not getting the Indiana Jones TV series that they wanted and have been kind of preparing for because of the flop of what they've gotten. And if it was going to be a Phoebe Waller-Bridge starring thing, I personally, like I said yesterday on Sidetrack, I like Phoebe Waller-Bridge as an actress. I think she's an excellent actress. But that performance was the most wooden performance I think I've ever seen from her. And yes, she's next to Harrison Ford, one of the all-time greats. But that's supposed to elevate your performance. You're not supposed to try to match it and then kind of like let the other one, let Harrison Ford do his thing and let me sit pretty right under him. No. You want to match that level, but
no, she was very forgettable in it, and I'm afraid that if they do a TV series, they need to completely rethink it because it cannot run off that. They need to do. I was always gutted that we lost River Phoenix when we did because I would have loved to have seen a proper young Indiana Jones series starring River Phoenix. That would have been just glorious. He did such. I think I mentioned this on my life. He did such a good version of Harrison Ford. I never appreciated it when I watched it years ago, but I watched it a couple of days ago and just watch River Phoenix's performance. He sounds like Harrison Ford. He runs like Harrison Ford. Which is just that really does show that he had it completely down. I'd love to have seen that. And I think that's the only way we can. That's the only thing I think people will get excited about is if they get the right actor to do a young Indiana Jones, and that could work. But only if they got the right actor. If they mess up the casting and that, it'll be a disaster.
Yeah. So okay. I don't want to get off on a tangent or get off too far, but just imagine River Phoenix being the person that ended up playing like young Han Solo. That could have been amazing.
Worked beautifully. That was the only thing that failed in Solo for me. Is the guy that got to play.
See, I like Alden Ehrenreich, but it felt like a Harrison Ford impression versus Han Solo.
Issues for me. Can I just ask that? Hey, Laura. Can I ask a question really quickly? Because it's off topic. That Trekgate said. I've spoken to somebody about this week, and they've basically told me that Paramount Plus is fine for 12 months.
Oh.
After 12 months, not so much. So they've basically, and it comes down to funding, they're fine for 12 months, but their debt is becoming more expensive to facilitate. Their current deals basically are up in 12 months and they're going to have to refinance. And then Paramount might have real problems. And I think they'll look for either. They'll probably look for a merger, but I could see them splitting CBS and Paramount again.
Oh, wow.
I could see that happening. I could see Paramount basically going under. They should never have started Paramount Plus.
No, it had a couple decent like ideas, like sure the Halo stuff and put all the Star Trek stuff there, but
it hasn't worked.
No, you got to make good quality projects and to actually have faith in the quality of those projects to have that happen. And
I mean, here in the UK, they give Paramount Plus away free as part of Sky Cinema. Oh. The problem is nobody subscribes to Sky Cinema anymore. I get it for £3 a month at the moment, so I'll keep it for £3 a month. But that's the only reason. That's the only reason it grew here at all, and they got subscribers. I still don't watch it. I watch Star Trek. That's it. I'm watching the Sarah Michelle Gellar series actually at the moment, and I am going. There's another series on there actually I want to watch. That Rabbit Hole.
Kiefer Sutherland, that new one.
Yeah. So I really want to watch that. But yeah, I'm not watching. It's not good enough. It's not a very good site. So yeah, I could see it merging. I could see it Netflix getting like a Paramount Plus side.
Which we'll get into some Netflix stuff later. Netflix is getting a couple nice things from Disney. Actually, I don't think I put that on there because Disney. I think we're talking about Warner Brothers licensing their stuff out, but Disney is also starting to, and we might get more news on that soon.
Netflix won the streaming war.
Oh,
they were all trying to catch up with Netflix, and they didn't.
It's just so interesting to watch it all play out, and Disney Plus. Disney Plus is screwing a lot of things over, and it is kind of hurting, I think, both Marvel and Lucasfilm. And like, look, Willow, we'll get back to that. Like, Willow is just not what it should be, and not what any of us expected it to be. And then what? Their other IP that they got was, is it Children of Bone and Blood, Children of Blood and Bone, something like that. They lost the licensing to that.
Yeah, they lost the licensing.
They completely lost the licensing. So now the only active franchise or active IP under Lucasfilm is Star Wars. And we know, as much as I'm a Star Wars nerd and lover all day, it's been iffy as of late. And I don't necessarily see the horizon getting that much better.
Honestly, last couple of years, what hasn't been a bit iffy? I mean, Game of Thrones ended iffy.
Yeah.
It's just everything seems to have. I don't know what it is. A lot of these people that shout woke at everything, a lot of the time they're not wrong, and they're not. I don't like the politics. I don't like a lot of bigots shout woke and either, but also a lot of very normal people are shouting woke and stuff because But TV, I think there's been a problem with quantity over quality, and the quality really has suffered for them just desperately trying to get stuff out. But Star Wars is struggling. Star Trek is. Picard season 3 was great, but other than that, Star Trek's been dodgy. Strange New World so far is not great. Star Wars. What actual TV shows are out there that's really good at the moment?
Smaller independent ones that just keep getting canceled and that can't survive because nobody watches them. I just finished season 2 of Sweet Tooth, and thankfully it's produced by Robert Downey Jr., so they're like, we'll give him a send-off. So they're getting a season 3. But I know damn well that nobody watched that enough to legitimately earn it a season 3, which is why they're like, okay, we're going to appease the big producers and put the 3rd season out. I think season 1 and 2 of Sweet Tooth is arguably not to the same quality. Like The Last of Us is the thing that beats the quality out of all these other things. But I think Sweet Tooth is The Last of Us for more of a young adult kind of thing. And it kind of brings a little sci-fi aspects into things too, which I love. But we don't get much of that anymore, and if we do, it's hidden because the studio or the streaming service or whatever it isn't necessarily confident in it, so they're not going to push it out there. Even though like new IPs are the things that will continue to make them money. New stories are the things that will continue to make them money. Yes, all these. These old franchises, old IPs, they will continue to make money, of course, but the new things are what bring new revenues in. Old things people get tired of. The franchise fatigue. I keep seeing franchise fatigue everywhere. Just that kind of like terminology, and franchise fatigue is very prominent right now, and it makes sense why.
I'm not sure franchise fatigue is really a thing. I think bad
franchise, yeah.
But I think the problem is with something like Marvel, they tried to do too much. They just, and it was definitely quantity over quality. But actually, the movies have not been very good. You cannot complain if people don't go and watch Thor: Love and Thunder when it's not very good, and people very quickly find out it's not very good because we go on our channel and we tell everyone it's not very good. And Quantumania was not very good. I would even argue that actually Black Panther 2 wasn't very good.
I had super high expectations and they were not met.
No, it was too overtaken by the grief of losing Boswick. I've forgotten his first name. Chadwick.
Yeah. And then they added Ironheart, and that took away from the Wakanda story, and it just didn't feel like it was any of it was necessary in that kind of sense.
David Biz just asked, I've just started watching Wolfpack. Yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes. So leave me alone. I'm not overly impressed by it, I have to admit. Sarah Michelle Gellar isn't in it. She said like 3 lines so far, and there's a bunch of teenagers going, "Oh, we've been bit by a wolf." So I'm trying to give it a chance because I really want to like it because of Sarah Michelle Gellar. But yeah, at the moment we'll see.
So,
I think it's going to switch to down the rabbit hole. But anyway,
with even that kind of in mind, and with all the stuff we just talked about in mind, it might not truly be franchise fatigue, because I think there is franchise fatigue, but it's just the bad quality of what these franchises have kind of become.
I was going to say, I think it's franchise fatigue, but I don't think it's on us. I think it's franchise fatigue on the creators. I think they're the ones that have got tired and they're making poor quality stuff. So there is franchise fatigue, but it's not from us. If they made good stuff, we'd watch it.
So that kind of perfectly leads me into this next question.
Cool. I'm useful.
But of course. Is it the producers that have the franchise fatigue? I don't necessarily even think it's the writers, because a writer can have just the most joy jumping into a sandbox and playing with. They're the people who come up with the new creative ideas and then just enjoy it, which is why this writer strike kind of hopefully ends soon so we can get some more creativity going. But what about the producers? Obviously, with Lucasfilm, we're thinking about a certain someone. I've been waiting to show this comment just because it cracked me up. So is the producer really the person that is holding it back? And it's not just excuse my lack of English there. It's not just necessarily the small producers, the co-producers, the line producers. It's like the highest of the highest executive producers, the Bob Igers, the Kathleen Kennedys, the people that are like running these individual companies. And obviously we're discussing Lucasfilm, so that's who we're talking about now. But Steven Spielberg is quoted saying Kathleen Kennedy's the best producer of all time. I vehemently disagree. I think she's an amazing producer. I think Steven Spielberg might be one of the best producers of all time. Kathleen Kennedy is not. And it's not because she hasn't made some excellent films. And it's not that she doesn't know the industry super duper well, because she does. But she's never made her own film. She's been a co-producer, co-executive producer, line producer, co-producer. Even on Star Wars and all this Lucasfilm stuff she's been on, none of these have been her film. It's not, for lack of a better of reference point, it's not Kevin Feige walking around saying like, this is my thing, you know? She doesn't know Star Wars, and that's kind of the quintessential fault, I think, with her running Lucasfilm, is she doesn't really actually care about the IPs. She cares about making $1, which is good. That's what you want a producer to do. That's their goal, is to make the movie money. She's good at that. She's excellent at that, actually. But if you don't know the IP and you don't actually truly care for what's going on, it seems like she's had franchise fatigue since 2015, since they bought it and released Force Awakens.
The thing is, I think with a producer, I don't think a producer needs to necessarily love what they're doing. They don't need to love the franchise. They need to be a good manager. I think Kevin Feige is I don't know how creative he is, but what he is a brilliant manager, and he keeps everything on track. Yeah, he keeps everything in the right direction. He seems to be very good at reining in the creative people when they go too far. And I think that's why we've seen such a bad Phase 4, because I think maybe he let that go a little bit and he was trying to let the creators be more creative. And he's gone, oh shit, but like a good captain, he's gone, we're going off course here. We need to drag it back. And he seems to be, if the rumors are true, he seems to be really cracking the whip again and getting control of things again. So Kathleen Kennedy, for me, she can be a great producer. She doesn't have to love Star Wars. She has to be a good manager. She has to know when get the right people in place. She has to be on top of things. The problem is, though, I suppose, if you don't care about the franchise in the same way that other people do, you're not going to be as on top of it.
Yeah. And that's where Feige is. Aaron, thank you. He's the most comic nerd accurate kind of guy possible. Like but before the MCU, he was like a producer on almost every single Marvel movie. I don't necessarily think it started with Blade, it might have, but he was on all of these X-Men movies, all of these other things, and he adores the comics. And I agree with you. You don't need someone that's like that into it, as long as there's a really good manager that understands, like, okay, let this person do this, but we need to ground it here. That works.
The thing is, a good manager, though, surrounds himself with the people that do know, and then they listen.
Yeah.
but they also know when to say no.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense. That's the third thing. And I think that's what Kevin Feige is really good at. He's really good at going, don't do that. Do this. But and Catherine Kennedy, I'm not sure she seems to be a good manager, but as a manager that's not, like you said, maybe doesn't understand the point of Star Wars, but also then doesn't. I don't know. She seems to be listening to the wrong people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If she would have surrounded herself with because Feige is just hiring a bunch of people that love comic books and stuff like that. He's also hiring people that don't. But I think the thing with Kathleen Kennedy is she decided to hire people that came in with their own ideas when she had Dave Filoni, George Lucas's protege, who eventually she did promote to the creative officer of all of Lucasfilm, not just Star Wars, because he's George Lucas's protege. And at the beginning, I guess she kind of one of the things that really hurt, I guess, Star Wars fandoms was, why isn't she using Dave? This guy made the Clone Wars. Okay, she's letting him finish the Clone Wars with a new season 7. Oh, she's giving him this Rebels show. Great. All that's great. But it seemed like she kind of sequestered Dave off to animation, and now finally he's able to come back, and that's why Mandalorian season 1 and 2, because Jon Favreau's been friends with Dave Filoni for a long time. He's part of the Clone Wars. Oh, yep, KK's the bad executive. She has Filoni. That's all she's ever needed. But she decided to do her own thing. And I think that's kind of that's the issue. Instead of letting Filoni kind of work his magic for a little bit, she sequestered him off and said, we're doing this for live action. And she didn't have the same love for it. And I think the one thing that's keeping Star Wars afloat right now is the animation, where all of this, we keep talking about iffy. The one thing that's been consistent is that animation. The only animated thing that I don't think is absolutely great is Resistance, which didn't have Dave Filoni as like its main executive. It was based off the sequel series. And I think that's probably the best sequel property there is, honestly, because it fits well within the Star Wars universe. And the first season is a bit childish. Of course, it's like a TV Y7. But the second season's interesting. And I think it really floats well within the Star Wars universe. And I'm so thankful we have Filoni now. But you can see the butting of heads within season 3 of Mando, just because it's obviously not fully Filoni and it's obviously not fully Kathleen Kennedy. And Jon Favreau we've just heard all the speculative rumors of, he might not be as happy as he once was there.
I think the Star Wars, the main problem with The Mandalorian was there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and a lot of stuff was changing while they were basically trying to film this Mandalorian, and it lost its direction.
Big time.
And went a few things. And so they've set up an awful lot of things that now aren't happening. I can just imagine the producers, the director in the background going, so we're not doing that now. So what are we doing instead? And streaming services, they don't adapt as quickly as TV shows used to be able to. So they've tried to wedge a few things in. But talking about the animation though, as a Trekkie, I honestly think the best Star Trek stuff at the moment is the animated stuff. I think Lower Decks, Prodigy that just got cancelled, is the most Trek stuff. And that shouldn't be right, but it's the way it is at the moment. Obviously with Picard season 3 being the exception to the rule. That actually I watched that second time around, and that wasn't as good second time around either, because it was loads of nostalgia. And obviously with the nostalgia stuff, you're getting excited about it when you watch it. Oh my God, it's Enterprise D, oh my God. And then you actually watch it. I knew that was coming. Why did I get so excited about it? But it's not so good. But yeah, the animated stuff is just better because because it costs less. There's less people involved, so it can actually just be what the creator wants rather than death by committee. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, death by committee, because that's. If the whole committee has the franchise fatigue, then how can everybody else be happy later on? And I feel like that might be one of those main problems. Animation is kind of the place where people are comfortable where those big committees are comfortable saying, all right, we don't need to pay that much attention. Here you go have fun with it. And look at Into the Spider-Verse. You watched that for the first time this past week, right? That's phenomenal. When you watch Across the Spider-Verse, let us know how you feel.
Yeah. I'm going to watch the new one, but I thought it was great. I'm going to watch it again. I really enjoyed it.
I love it. For the first 8 months after that film came out, I probably watched it 24 times. It was just kind of like that. Oh, I don't have anything going on. Let me put that in the background while I like walk around and clean the house or something. Like, I love that.
I was doing the ironing, watching that, happy as Larry. My son came over and went, "What are you watching? Are you watching that?" Yes, I am, bro. It's bloody brilliant.
Damn right.
I've only got 5 minutes, mate. All right, because I promised my wife I'd be off by 1:30.
Okay, so we've kind of covered Indiana Jones and Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy, franchise fatigue.
And we put streaming services to bed. Sorry.
All of this. Since you were here, I will let you pick our next topic. Do you want to talk about Daniel Kaluuya Barney film? Do you want to talk about HBO stuff going over to Netflix? Or do you want to talk about J.J. Abrams' new Hot Wheels movie?
Let's do the Hot Wheels movie.
Okay, all right.
Because that's the only one of the three I know anything about. So I genuinely think he could do something interesting with it. But every other time they've tried to make a movie like this, it's been bloody awful. Need to take the
Oh, that's right.
Just take that off. So, there you go.
There we go.
It's been awful. I mean the Battleships game film a little while ago, where that was terrible. There was no logic to it at all. But Hot Wheels is such a vague concept to build a film off. You can really do anything.
They kind of could have done anything with the Battleship, and that's one that it's not a good film, but it is kind of I watch it for fun every now and then if it's like on the background and cable kind of deal. But I don't have cable anymore, so it's not one that I like seek out ever. I probably haven't seen it in 8 years.
I can't bring myself to watch it again.
Oh,
it made no logical sense, and that's the bit I don't like about it. And I felt it stupid. The thing is, though, I'd like to see some of the famous Hot Wheels cars on the big screen. There's been some cool ones over the years. But is it just going to be a Fast and the Furious film? Basically?
I feel like it's going to end up... Okay, so I'm interested in David Harbour's Gran Turismo film coming out soon. But I feel like this is not going to be more in that vein, even though they did say it's going to be a quote-unquote adult and gritty and stuff like that. Not necessarily an adult. They just said it was going to be more gritty and grounded, I think. I think it's going to be almost Need for Speed meets Fast and Furious in a way. Obviously, that's without us knowing anything, but that's just kind of like my gut instincts. I feel like it'd be more of that Aaron Paul Need for Speed, but maybe that mixed with a little bit of
Need for Speed was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But what did the Wachowskis do that I can't think of the name of right after V for Vendetta? Emil Hirsch.
They did Driver.
Driver's good. The Ryan Gosling one. I'm thinking of Speed. Is it Speed Racer?
Oh, that was awful as well, though.
That was bad.
Apple is supposed to be doing a TV series of that. Other than Thingy looking very sexy in it, I forgot the name. It just didn't work. Again, it's one of those films you know what they were trying to do, but God, it didn't work. This Hot Wheels thing, J.J. Abrams, I actually think he's a pretty good filmmaker, generally speaking. He's got a bad rep because of what he did with Star Trek and Star Wars, and Matthew's back. But I actually think those films are actually quite good. They just annoyed the fans for different reasons. There's no story with Hot Wheels.
No.
So he can do whatever he wants. So I'll be interested to see what happens, but it's very difficult to have an opinion on it because there's no story.
Yeah.
So
I guess the question or the thought process is, I guess later on in this article, they do say Mattel is taking over. So I feel like this is more Mattel than it is even not Giant Freaking Robot. What is Bad Robot? There we go. One of those robots that tends to put, when you see it, bad news comes up. But I feel like Bad Robot is the reason J.J. Abrams gets poo-pooed on frequently and kind of for good reason a lot of the times because he might be a good filmmaker, but God, not the best producer at all times. But if Mattel is taking this interesting approach with their childlike IP to make it much more adult oriented, not necessarily truly adult oriented, but probably like PG-13 up or at least PG, you know. I like that everything we've seen from Barbie makes it feel like a pink version of 2001, you know. I'm intrigued by that. Obviously, the whole Barbenheimer stuff going on, it makes me want to go see both movies that much more. But if they're going to start like a little Mattel universe or something, do you see that working? Because this is like franchise. This could lead to franchise fatigue. But if they're quality films and they don't truly correlate until maybe like something else pops in later, would you see that working? Or is that just like, okay, great, you got the Avengers formula down, but really?
I'll always argue, right? You can't. I've used this as an example before, but when Lucifer came out a few years ago on Netflix, I went, that is the stupidest premise for a series I've ever heard in my life. Satan has come to Earth and he's going to fight crime with a police officer. That is just ridiculous. But it was done so well that it was just marvelous. It was brilliant. It's one of my favorite shows of the last 10 years. I absolutely adore that series. I can't wait for the new spin-off show they're doing. It was just brilliantly well done. So that's the to say, can it work? Yeah, because you can do anything if you do it well.
Yeah,
you know, and if they've got this universe and they're going to do, look, the Barbie movie is not a film I have any intention of ever watching.
Really?
Or if you believe what's being hyped up about it, it's a proper film. It's it's Barbie by name only sort of thing. And yeah, if they do it well, why not? I'm open to have my mind changed. The Hot Wheels movie, it's just a name, isn't it? They're slapping a name on a film, and they literally, that film can be anything. It's any story with cars. You could get any of the Fast and the Furious films and call it Hot Wheels movie, and it's a Hot Wheels movie. So I have zero. I don't have anything to say about it because it can be anything. It'll look cool, and I'm a boy, so I like cars.
I think I have.
I'm happy as Larry. And some explosions and shit. But if they do you remember that Thunderbirds movie a few years ago that Jonathan Frakes directed?
I didn't watch it, but I think I saw of it. It's not good.
So instead of doing a Thunderbirds film where they had the ships and they have just international rescue and saving the day, right? They ended up having a bit where the bad guy put a microchip in the back of Brain's head, and so he started walking around like this, and it was painful to watch, right? So instead of just
Frankenstein them,
instead of just trying to do a movie based on Thunderbirds, which everyone would have loved, and modernizing it and bringing it up to date, they did it quite. They tried to do a live action version of the 1960s puppet show, and it was awful. It was really bad. I mean, if I could, I would go and punch Jonathan Frakes in the dick about 10 times because of it. I would just fucking Thunderbirds. How do you make a bad Thunderbirds film, you fucking idiot? And then just punch him in the penis repeatedly. And I like Jonathan Frakes, but I am angry about it. But it wasn't totally his fault. But anyway, so that's it. Like I say, that should have been a no-brainer. Completely forgotten where this rant started, but any franchise can be done if it's done well.
Yes.
So, but like I say, there's no story for Hot Wheels, so they can do what they want with it.
And hopefully, because just the Gran Turismo movie that's coming up, I feel like it's not coming out here because, Fast and Furious is popular right now, let's put another car movie out there. I think that is in response to how well Ford versus Ferrari did, and David Harbour wouldn't go in there doing like a Fast and Furious. I don't think he might just for fun, but he would like state it was just for fun. If this is his thing, Gran Turismo he's the type of actor where you expect a certain type of quality, and I do think that will be there. It seems like a great team behind Gran Turismo and all that. So if J.J. Abrams wants to follow that vein, that would be nice. that's kind of all we can say about it as of now, like you were saying. But I would hope it's in that game.
Or not. It's whether if they do something with all the ramps and the things you can get in the Hot Wheels sets. If they try to do something with that and they try and have some of the Hot Wheels sets in it and things like that, it's going to be awful. If they just do a very cool car movie with some very cool looking cars and they call it Hot Wheels, fine. So anyway, I'm going to tap out and I will let my hard rocking amigo friend from Sidetrek tap in. So when he's ready.
All right.
Anytime.
Well, yeah, I'll keep talking because we can keep on this not necessarily Mattel route, but Greta Gerwig is directing not just Barbie, but she just got signed on to direct not one, but 2 Chronicles of Narnia films.
What?
Yeah. Did you not see that? Greta Gerwig, the lady that's directing Barbie, is now signed on to direct. Thank you. I didn't know what the hell I did. I was trying to figure all that out.
What are they starting with? They're starting with the proper first book.
Yeah. I think so.
So they're doing the last chair. No.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think they might just
love the Narnia books. They're amazing. They always start with Lion Witch of the Wardrobe, and that's the 3rd book. So don't do that. Do it properly.
What's the technical second one again?
They got the first one is the Professor's something, and then it's the Silver Chair.
Okay, and then Lion Witch, Caspian, Dawn Treader, etc. Yeah.
Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Yeah. So if they do it properly, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
I'm going. Bye.
Yep. See ya.
Oh, I mustn't end the broadcast.
No, don't do that. You did it last time.
I won't end the broadcast. See you later, guys.
See ya. Oh. Okay. Oh, booyah. See, you're quick on the draw. Yeah. So, what are your first thoughts? Are you as much of a Narnia guy?
I mean, I've read the books, the first one, and I've seen the films. They're good films.
Yeah, the first 2 at least.
I've not seen the 3rd.
It's iffy. We do get in the 3rd one. What's his name? Oh, I know his name. Oh, I did this earlier with Christian Slater. What? The guy that plays Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I can't think of his name right now, but he's great. The kid that looked like the guy that looked like Sid from Toy Story when he was younger. He's in that, and he's kind of more one of the fun kind of people in that one. But Voyage of the Dawn Treader was not good. So
what's happening with Narnia? I was here kind of, but I was doing these layouts and I wasn't really listening.
No. Really, all they've said so far is
it's a TV show.
Yeah, it's well, no. Sorry, it's a movie. 2 movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So essentially, Greta Gerwig just okay. I got. Is that how we do it? There we go. She's signed on to write alongside Noah Baumbach, her husband, who's also an amazing writer and director. He's done I saw his most recent film in a movie theater that had him literally do a talk afterwards. Oh, Marriage Story was his last one with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. And how is Barbie? Will Poulter. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Will Poulter's the guy I couldn't think of. And the first book is The Magician's Nephew. There we go.
Wait, Will Poulter, the British dude.
Yeah. He's Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's also in Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And he wasn't the reason that movie's bad. I think the writing is, but
I mean, I know him from School of Comedy.
Yeah,
it's a quite an obscure British. I don't know. I think it was quite popular in Britain actually. Comedy show where they were all kids at the time, and they do sketch shows as if they're adults. So you ignore the fact that they're kids; they're playing adults, and it's hilarious. Very adult themes. It's really good.
That sounds great because I mean you've seen We're the Millers, right? That's how I was first introduced to him.
No, I've not seen that.
Whoo! That is one of the best. I think that might be one of if not, it's not. I don't know if it can claim like the best, but it's in like the top 3, 4, 5 comedy movies of the past probably decade. It's Nick Offerman and Catherine Hahn, Will Poulter, Emma Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, and Jason Sudeikis. And oh my God, it's hilarious. I'll give you the briefest of synopsises. But Jason Sudeikis is running out of money. He has to hire a fake family to go take a bunch of drugs from Mexico in an RV back to the U.S. Simple as that. It's beautiful.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
It's the funniest BS. You know that the funny meme with the dude and the wife beater and the do rag and the hat, the white dude with no ragrets on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's from that movie.
All right.
So how did we get on that again? Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah. So I don't know. I do really enjoy Greta Gerwig as a director and as a writer. I'm ecstatic for Barbie in a lot of ways. Laura just said, "How is Barbie movie not a joke?" Because of the two, it definitely was going to be a joke because they originally hired Amy Schumer to be Barbie, which would have been bad. But they got Margot Robbie. They got someone to be more Barbie-like, I guess. And then they decided not to make it some meta commentary in the way I guess they were, because I'm sure it's still going to be a meta commentary in a lot of ways. But it's going to be the people writing it, at least, are very grounded people. That's why I'm intrigued with the way they're doing it, because Marriage Story is a very grounded film. Every other film Noah Baumbach has ever written or directed is very grounded. Greta Gerwig most recently did she do anything since Little Women? I'm not positive, but she did Little Women last, and then that's kind of in the same repertoire of what she typically does. And Lady Bird was prior to that, and those are very grounded in reality, grounded with actual characters. I have complete and utter faith in both of them, and I feel like the Barbie movie is a joke in a way, but not in a way that we can truly understand yet. We'll kind of figure out along the way, and that's something I'm excited for. And
I'm actually quite excited to see it.
I'm ecstatic for it. I'm going to spend that whole damn day at the movie theaters. Barbenheimer is, yep. I'm Oppenheimer first, so you can get sad and scared and think about all the crazy things going on in the world and how we can be destroyed at any point of any day at any time. And then Barbie to hopefully ease that kind of wild ride for a little bit, you know? Fingers crossed. But yeah, no, I'm pumped for it. I think Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig together, obviously they're married, but that allows them to, maybe they're not married, but at least they're together. They see in each other's brains more frequently than anybody else does, and they're both like super talented on their own individual levels. Them together, we'll see with Barbie, but I have faith in it. I think it's going to be good. Everything we've heard from it has been fairly good. I don't know if a whole bunch of reviews have jumped out just yet, but the tidbits have been sounding decent. And I don't know. I'm hopeful. I love me some Chronicles of Narnia. I love me some fantasy stuff just as much, if not more at times than sci-fi. Sci-fi is the thing that always keeps me coming back home to it. But and my first love was Lord of the Rings. So I love me some fantasy stuff. And Chronicles of Narnia was coming out, the films at least, when I was, the first one's 2007. So I was like 8 or 9, something like that. That's that peak childhood for me. I loved that, you know? So I'm hopeful for it. I think it'll be good.
Narnia was probably one of my first loves as a child.
And the books are great.
The book more so. And then the movies. I think there was a movie before the new trilogy. I'm sure there was years and years ago. I might be misremembering though. I think it was just called Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Maybe. I kind of vaguely have an idea of that. Maybe.
Maybe not. 2005. So it probably was that movie.
Wow.
But obviously I'd read the books and stuff beforehand, and I absolutely loved it. Loved it.
I love it. It brings like normal fantasy in with like extra fantasy and makes it still grounded in reality by bringing like them back to London and going through the actual wardrobe and things like that. Like, they're good. They're good.
I love the theory, right? So this is it's not off topic, but there's a theory that the kids are actually the founders of Hogwarts. So the older one, who is obviously friends with the lion, Aslan, is Godric Gryffindor. The older girl is Rowena Ravenclaw. The younger girl is Helga Hufflepuff, and the kid who basically is a little bit evil at the beginning with the White Witch is Salazar Slytherin. And it just fits so well. Because obviously they had their entire lives in Narnia and then came back as kids. So...
And I guess if they're opening portals or something like that in some weird way, they could definitely like leech the magic into the real world or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I like that. I now subscribe to this theory.
It's a theory that I saw years ago. It was just on Tumblr or something like that. Just like someone's headcanon that they decided to put on the internet, and I just loved it. And I'm like, yes, that is now in my headcanon.
Yeah, this is my headcanon now. I'm subscribing. I like it. Is there it's C.S. Lewis, so it's not like a particular company that I guess owns it.
No. It predates. Man, way predates fucking Harry Potter. But I mean, to be honest, J.K. Rowling probably took inspiration from Land of Witch and the Wardrobe for probably not the main four, but for those, and that there probably is a connection there with her taking inspiration from the four kids and then the founders of Hogwarts. Because everything she did, she just took inspiration from somewhere. She didn't come up with an original idea.
This kind of what all things are. They're borrowed and then just kind of fine-tuned to the way we want them. And she did the same thing. Voldemort was can't say the word, sorry. But Voldemort, he's essentially a Russian folklore of Ivan, not Ivan the Terrible or something like that, but another guy named Ivan who had to do a bunch of other he essentially I'm not telling the story very well, and I can't even paraphrase it very well either, but there were Horcruxes in there, not actually Horcruxes, but you had to go certain items to get to somebody's soul and then crush that soul, and that's the way to actually kill that person. So she essentially got the whole Voldemort lineage from Russian folklore.
Is it Ivan Tsarevich?
That kind of sounds right.
Ivan, it's spelled with a T because Russia.
Ruska. The Ruskies.
It is Ivan Tsarevich.
Something like that. And he doesn't have a wife when he makes a deal with this demon, and then the demon's the one with the souls that he has to kill. And then the demon takes this girl that he kind of ends up not marrying, but ends up marrying later on. And that's kind of the whole thing. He has to go to save her. He has to destroy these items and then destroy the guy's actual the main Horcrux that holds his soul at the end of the day, kind of thing. And they're not called Horcruxes, of course. She kind of made that up herself, but she borrowed. That's what Tarantino says. Tarantino's never truly made an original film. Every single scene has been
anything anyone's ever made has always been borrowed from anything.
Oh yeah,
and we're making content now. We have opinions, but they're not. Those opinions came from somewhere.
Yeah,
based on past experience. We're not inherently born with these opinions, or these ideas, or anything like that. We get opinions and our ideas from our environment.
I might have been inherently born with a couple Star Wars opinions, though. I don't know. I'm adopted too, so I don't know if it's nurture or nature, but it's somewhere.
The opinion of I like this or I don't like this, we're born with, I think. But
because it's personal preference at that point. Everything else is context adding.
Getting into the meta of things.
I'm sorry. Aaron cracked me up. I'm hoping Indy 5 was KK's last Horcrux. What?
This is not going to shock anyone who watches this, who knows me from Sidetrack. But I've not actually seen Indiana Jones. I've not seen a single film. But I have the box set, so I will be watching it.
See that?
Obviously, this is only the first three films. Yeah, because
that's the only ones you ever need to watch. Just honestly, I don't know if this would be the right way to do it, but if I were you, just for the sake of thinking about Indiana Jones in a different way, I'd watch the Indiana Jones, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles or the Young Indiana Jones series, whatever it was called, first, and then watch
Is
the
it a
first
TV show?
Yeah, they did a TV show. That's what Jay was talking about earlier, where River Phoenix passed away before they were able to continue it. But Harrison Ford's in there. He's kind of like he's got his beard and then he's kind of telling his story kind of thing. And then you go
Sean
back in
Patrick
time
Flannery.
with young Indy. And it's fantastic. It's really good. And River Phoenix, of course, just rest his soul, man. He was fantastic. There's a reason Joaquin's as good as he is because of his brother. Maybe not. He has his own talent. But
they're related. Okay.
Yeah, they're brothers. Yeah. And that's why Joaquin's so messed up. People are like, how can you get into all these terrible, terrible like people and draw all these emotions out of them? It's because his brother died here. They were both best friends with Heath Ledger. He died a few years later, and then there's like 2 or 3 other things that just screwed up Joaquin Phoenix's life, and that's where he can like garner these emotions. That's where he became the Joker. Oh, Arthur Fleck.
It's the Joker curse, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. It sounds about right. But it's also poetic in the way that he took, because Heath Ledger and him and River Phoenix were all just tight knit, and it was beautiful to see him do as well as he did with the Joker, because it's him or Jack Nicholson is still kind of my favorite, but Heath Ledger is like the best.
I didn't really like Jack Nicholson's Joker.
I love it. It felt comic booky, which is why I like it. It feels like a comic book thing, where the other two are very based in realism, and I love and adore that.
I prefer my superhero shows to be a little bit more grounded and a little bit more realistic.
I tend to. It really just depends on on like the superhero at hand a lot of times, because sometimes like Batman works well in some intergalactic stuff sometimes, but he also definitely works best when he's just hanging out in Gotham and fighting crime. And, you know, there's Wonder Woman can do some cool stuff, fighting people on the street. Iron Man can fight people on the street. Spider-Man can fight people on the street, or he can go up to space. Like, you know, there's room for both. And it just really, I guess, depends on the story at hand. Yeah.
I love the comic style in comics.
Yes.
Because obviously it works in comics because it's comic style. So I love reading it, and in cartoons as well.
Okay.
But in movies, I just prefer it because for me, a movie is slightly different than a cartoon or a comic book, because obviously they're the originals, I guess. And then the movie is like taking inspiration from them, but I like to see more of a realistic approach.
Yeah.
Which is why I loved Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, he is my favorite Joker. I can't say his name. Joaquin
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin.
No, I loved his Joker, and I'm actually quite happy that they're doing a second one with him, because I always just imagined it would be one and done with him because of how it ended.
Yes, but then Todd Phillips was the director. There was going to be a sequel. And I love Todd Phillips. Hangover 3, not so much, but first 2, I love it.
Me and my missus both watched that film together, and she's not really into comic books as much as I am, but she loved that film. Yeah,
because it really isn't. It feels so real in so many ways, and so not real, because obviously he has his own little things going on, and it's
a film that is less of a comic book film. It's a comic book character,
yes,
but the film is more of a closer look at what makes the character that character, and it was just perfect.
And that's one of my favorite things and least favorite things about Christian Bale Batman and Heath Ledger Joker and all that is it all felt very real world, not so comic-y. But then you actually get like Joaquin Phoenix's version of it, and it brings it that much more real world, and you kind of realize, okay, so that did have some comic stuff in it, even though it was very grounded in reality. Like I don't even think we're in Gotham where Arthur Fleck is, right? Isn't he just in regular old New York? I don't think he's in Gotham in the Joker, right? He might be just because he is.
No, it is Gotham. It is Gotham because at the end of the film, when the riots are on, literally right at the end of the film, in that alleyway is where Bruce Wayne's parents get killed.
Yeah, so it is Gotham. It just feels so real. Also, real quick, I mean, Sean Patrick Flannery is amazing. What River played him in the movie? I'm thrown off now.
There's a Young Indiana movie as well.
I don't think so. Am I going crazy?
I mean, I'm on the listing for it now.
Oh, is there?
He's not listed on it on the TV show. It's just Sean Patrick Flannery, Indiana Jones, George Hall, Indiana Jones, and Harrison Ford, obviously. No mention of. Let's have a look. No, he's not on here.
I don't know where my brain went then, but nonetheless, Young Indiana Jones Chronicles are great. If you want a different perspective on Indiana Jones, that might be a cool place to start. Obviously not necessary, but could be cool. Could be cool. I don't know. So with what you were just saying about like cartoons, films, comics, all that, Jave watched it for the first time this past week and adored it. You and the kiddos ought to watch it soon. But Into the Spider-Verse is kind of like the perfect bridging of all those gaps. And Across the Spider-Verse proved that even more because, sorry, spoiler alert, y'all, but there is live action stuff in Across the Spider-Verse that somehow fits really well with the animated stuff. And some of it is like...
I was talking about this with someone today, actually, Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah? The style of I've not seen Across. I've only seen Into.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So the style of Into the Spider-Verse is a mixture of 2D and 3D in a really clever way, in a way that makes it so you can incorporate other versions of Spider-Man. So you obviously had the Spider Noir, you had Spider Pig, or whatever how you called him.
Spider Pig does whatever Spider Pig does.
But they were very cartoony.
Yeah.
Compared to Miles Morales, who was 2.5D, I would say.
Yeah. He changes by the end, right? His animation changes by the end, like to become like fully realized, right?
Yeah, it does change a little bit. It's a little bit more, I don't know, glitchy at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
But that fits with the aesthetic of the film because it's a very trippy film.
Ooh.
But you mentioning that there's cameos with live action people, I can imagine that would fit quite well because of the style they went with, 2D and 3D mixing together. So really, realistically, Into the Spider-Verse, they went 2.5. But it's only like half a degree forward to incorporate someone live action, and it would still work.
Yeah, and Across the Spider-Verse did it really, really, really well. Because like you said, all these different characters have kind of like their own art department kind of surrounding them in their own kind of way. And Across the Spider-Verse has a lot of freaking spider people, and each one of them very much looks like their own individual thing from their own individual place.
Someone told me Spider-Punk, who's in it.
Hobie!
You'd only know this if you like properly watch the film like a million times, but apparently, I haven't seen it, but you can confirm if this is true or not. His frame rate is less than everyone else's, and that's his aesthetic.
It's much more hand drawn. I mean, everybody's hand drawn to a degree, I guess, but he feels much more hand drawn. He literally feels like, oh, you just dropped this dude off of a freaking comic book page and put him on here, and it still works nigh perfectly. Like, and part of that is a great transition into our next topic, but Daniel Kaluuya is the guy that plays him, and this dude deserves a freaking Oscar. I'm still pissed off that he and the film Queen and Slim weren't nominated for Oscars. I think in 2019 there was so many great movies that came out that year, so it was kind of hard for a lot of them to just kind of get the notoriety that they kind of deserved. But damn, him and Jodie Turner-Smith, who's going to be in the Acolyte TV show for Star Wars, whoop, I'm excited. They're both amazing. Daniel Kaluuya, do you know that guy off the top of your head?
Not top of my head.
You remember Black Panther, the first one?
Yep.
You remember the guy that was in charge of the Rhino stuff, blue sash?
Mm-hmm.
That guy. He's great.
How do you spell it?
Kaluu.
Yep, got it.
Yeah.
Yep, I know.
Yeah. Fan-frickin-tastic. Anything and everything he's ever done, I think.
And once again, he was in Nope, a film that you keep telling me to watch.
He was in Nope, and he was in Get Out. He's not the star of Nope. He's one of like the co-stars, but he is like the star of Get Out, and it's so good. Spider-Verse better win Best Full-Length Animated Feature. I don't think there's any doubt that it's going to win that. I'm just hoping it actually gets nominated for Best Feature, like not animated, whatever. Just come on, please. But we're gonna move on just a little bit to one of our next topics, real quick. And I don't expect this one to go on as long. But speaking about old Daniel Kaluuya, we've got Barney. Did you ever watch any Barney?
Yes, I watched Barney. What? Daniel Kaluuya's Barney movie is an A24 type film that's surrealistic for adults and for adults.
So we were
But
talking
it's
about
not R-rated.
No, it's not R-rated. We don't really need to see anything past that. But I keep screwing you up with all this. My bad. But you're fast on the draw. Mattel is taking over somehow, whether it be Hot Wheels, whether it be Barbie, or now Barney. And Daniel Kaluuya as Barney.
I jumped in halfway through you talking about Barbie, and I heard Jay mention, are they making a Hot Wheels film? Why?
Well, you heard who's in charge of it, right?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Everybody, just be prepared for Matt's facial reactions. Are y'all ready? The company behind the Hot Wheels movie. Not Mattel. I mean, Mattel will be part of it, of course, but Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams will be making it.
Fucking hell.
I
don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, it's going to be shit because of them, but it's going to be shit.
That's why Jay and I were kind of saying, like, okay, J.J. Abrams can be a good filmmaker. He has a proven track record of being a good filmmaker. But then Bad Robot kind of gets involved, and it just crumbles.
He's good. He is good because he is the mind behind one of my favorite TV shows ever. But the only time I've seen Barney's in the third Jurassic Park film.
I'm not high enough. I'm not even high at all, y'all. I'm going to do a nice dab at the end of this, but that I'm going to read that comment again before I do a dab later. Fringe is great.
I'm going to quickly look and see if there's any films I actually liked. I mean, I did like the Star Trek films. I'm not going to lie. I did like them, but
they're just.
I've since watched the series, and
it's just not like Jay always says. It's not Star Trek. It's just they're decent sci-fi. It's just it doesn't feel Star Trek-y. And we were talking like the whole producers aspect of a lot of this stuff earlier, and I feel like Hot Wheels could be. I'm on my own channel. I can cuss. Hot Wheels might be fucked over by not necessarily J.J. Abrams, but like the committeeism of like the executive producers, where Barbie seems to be really good because it got J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot and this whole big company behind it. Barbie's looks pretty damn good because it got Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig to rewrite this film, and they didn't co-direct it, but you know damn well Noah Baumbach, whose wife is directing the film, who wants to go hang out with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, was probably there fairly frequently. And not to mention the amazing supporting cast. Like, I would be hanging out on that set, whether I was a writer, a background extra, or whatever. I'd be there as much as I could be. That being said, I don't know if the whole Bad Robot JJ approach is the same or even equivalates in that kind of way. And going into the Barney thing, if it's A24 styled, I clicked away from that article too damn fast. Yeah. It says A24 type film. That means it's not actually an A24 film. Yeah, okay, that's just what I wanted to double check. Was it, if it, because A24, they tend to be a little bit more trippy, not necessarily nuanced. That's not the word I'd go for. But something to make your brain work and to figure out, okay, this story is like a straightforward narrative, but there's this, and this that kind of add to that narrative, and I could see that working very well, especially
they
if
did Ex Machina, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did Everything Everywhere All at Once. I could name out 100 things they've done. They even did like Euphoria TV show, a bunch of stuff. Yeah. They're truly great. It's truly. Yep. Barney. But with it being adult oriented, but not necessarily rated R, I don't know if they're going to make it a hyper realistic Barney, a not so realistic Barney, and make him kind of like, oh, this guy's been in this suit so long, he's becoming Barney kind of deal. We don't know really any of that yet, but with the whole Mattel news coming on, there may be a Mattel cinematic universe. So would you rather watch the Marvel cinematic universe or the Mattel cinematic universe? Which MCU will you be? She seems so excited.
Because hang on, let's have a look. What do they own? Barbie, Hot Wheels, Fisher Price, Uno, Mega. Like,
when do we get an Uno movie?
We're gonna get an Uno movie. You've seen Super Smash Bros. The movie. Now get ready for Uno.
Let's Uno it up. Hire me. Put me in, coach. I'll be the reverse card. I'll be the green reverse card. Or draw 4, either or.
What have they got? Oh, Matchbox. I mean, that's basically just Hot Wheels, but smaller. Thomas. Oh, they own Thomas and Friends.
Which, okay, hear me out. Scrap. You can even scrap Barbie at this point. No, let Barbie come out. Scrap Hot Wheels. Scrap Barney. But you watched Bullet Train last year, right?
No.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one. If Brian Tyree Henry's character keeps telling people they're either Thomases or you're this engine, you're this choo-choo train, you're this choo-choo train, whatever, and he gives people kind of nicknames like, oh, you're the bad train. Oh, you're like a Thomas. Just get Brian Tyree Henry to do a Thomas and Friends movie.
I would love a hyper-realistic version of Thomas.
It would be so weird. It'd be so great. I'm in.
The fat controller can be like this horrible, horrible man. Like, he's not in the kids show. He's actually quite all right. I mean, he's a little bit of a dick, but make him the villain.
And that'd be great. And just as long as it's Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's kind of like plays the twin in there, it'd be great. It'd be good. Oh, I'm just excited thinking about it. Like make it happen, y'all. Make it happen.
I'm just wondering what a Barney film would even look like. I mean, as you said, is it Barney as the guy in the suit, or is it Barney as in Barney is Barney and Barney exists? Or like what?
And the fact that they said A24 film doesn't necessarily help me figure that part out, because A24 could literally do it in any of these different directions and make it weird and interesting in their own way. So
do you reckon they're gonna have this song? Barney is a dinosaur.
You mean the pseudo Craven? Don't disrespect Aaron Taylor Johnson. The writers and the producers, different story. But Aaron Taylor Johnson can do no wrong. I just hope the movie doesn't fall apart. I feel like he'll be great in it for what he brought, but pseudo Craven. Because pseudo Craven. We can disrespect the new character at least, because that's not Craven the frickin' Hunter. But that I'll go off on a whole different damn tangent. the whole Mattel stuff, I'm intrigued. We don't know if it's going to be a hyper realistic Barney, if it's going to be an actual dinosaur walking around like that learns how to speak English, like implanted vocal cords or some BS. I don't know. There could be so many different things, and they could all be fun. Speaking of fun stuff, let's just look at this cool picture while we're thinking about weird sci-fi kind of things. I don't know if Barney counts as sci-fi, but in this kind of world, I'm sure it will. Have you seen anything about Rebel Moon as of recent? We got another photo from old Rebel Moon.
No.
No? Well,
No.
does this look badass or not?
Yeah.
That looks pretty badass. That's kind of all we got. They didn't really give out too much information about Rebel Moon, but this is our newest image. It's Ray Fisher as this pretty badass dude. And
wait, that's a dude.
I'm pumped. Yeah. You remember Cyborg, the guy that was at the very top? Same guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the gun's apparently like 4 feet long. So, I mean,
4
you
foot
remember?
long.
Yeah. You remember what Rebel Moon is, right? How it's kind of Zack Snyder's answer to Star Wars after he tried to get a movie for Star Wars from Disney, and Disney was like, that's not Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, we spoke about this on a previous stream, and it did look very, very good.
And we have a bunch of cool images. I see my biggest hang up is Zack Snyder himself, and my biggest excitement is Zack Snyder himself and the cast he put together. So I'm intrigued. I think it's going to be if it's going to be good, it's going to be because it's written very well, and he's been thinking about it for a very long time. If it's not very good, it might be Frankenstein together because there's really not a studio holding it back. I cannot wait for it. Just for more pseudo Star Wars. There we go. But you know it's as long as it's badass, good story, a lot of stuff going on that is an intrigue to everybody, I think it'll be good. That's one of those films that, you know, a lot of the time you don't want to make a movie for everybody, and you do want to kind of find that niche. And I don't necessarily think that's one where you need to find that niche. I think it kind of works perfectly for what that is there. And I, for one, am pumped for it. But that's all we got for that little bit. That was a very brief little thing. So we got a couple more things to talk about. Which would you like to talk about more? I might actually, just because it'll delve into a larger conversation, I might save the whole HBO shows following suit and going to Netflix with Warner Brothers outsourcing their license. We might save that to Wednesday just for a larger conversation. But there's only one more topic left. Okay, I'm looking at all my notes. There's one more topic left, but before we get to that topic, I haven't watched this, and I wanted to watch this. So, where is it? Yes. Someone put together, I think it was Paramount, put together a video of Tom Cruise running through all 7 Mission Impossible films.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's 10 minutes long, so we're not going to watch this whole damn thing. Actually, you know what I'm going to do while we're watching it? And I turned the volume down just so we don't get copyright struck or anything, because I know Paramount is probably they only have so many things, so they're going to go after what they can.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to turn my fans away a little bit. I got fans running on my computer, which if you can ever hear, let me know. I don't think they're too loud. This one is squeaking down below me, so I'm going to have to turn this oscillating thing off.
Turn your fans away. There's women at your window just knocking. Go away.
I'm going to take a nice dab, I think. You know? I've got some Puffweiser here. And the strain is, hold up. They idiot-proof this stuff. It takes me a minute to open it sometimes.
The term is child-proof.
Yeah.
Which you are just on the cusp of being not a child. What the hell is that? What is that?
Was that? Did we press play on music or something?
No,
Because that didn't even sound like any of the music they had.
that wasn't the video. That was something else on your side.
It's muted.
Got another window open? Oh, you've got a website open. It might be like a auto-playing video, like an advert or something.
Oh, on. I don't know. I am confused as all can be at the moment. I don't know what the hell just happened. But enjoy Tom Cruise running, y'all. Matt and I are still talking, and we will. If any more classical music comes up, I'm taking credit for it. I'm learning the piano. Actually, that was definitely me, completely, entirely. I was just
Gonna take a dab, but what dab really means is I'm just gonna.
yabba dabba do, yes sir. Here, let me show you it before I make it all nasty.
I've got a song that you need to listen to. Everyone in this chat needs. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want you to get copyright strike. But I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna link it.
Okay. I think this is a nice chunky
you probably
dab.
wouldn't get a copyright strike actually, but I'll. It's up to you if you want to play it. I will just put it in the comments because it is.
Which song?
I'll just put it in the comments.
Oh, we don't get to know until we click on it, eh?
If you like rock music / semi-metal music, but also like songs with a story, then this is very good. The song is called Laser Shooting Dinosaur.
Laser Shooting Dinosaur?
Yeah, by a band called Angus McSix. And it is every bit as amazing as it sounds.
It sounds pretty damn amazing. It's not letting me click it because of whenever we do it from here, it just says show or whatever.
Oh, hang on. Let me send it you on Facebook. So have you got Facebook open on your computer?
We'll skip through this whole Tom Cruise running. Oh, now we're in the fifth one. I think we went from the second or third one to the fifth one. Bum.
There you go. I sent it
This is great, actually.
I sent it on Facebook to you to your inbox. Yep.
Aye. Oh, okay. Copy link address. There we go. I figure out how to computer every now and then.
They're a pretty small band comparatively, so you might not get copy strike, but
2.26 million subscribers. Just the smallest of bands.
Yeah, they are good though. They're very good.
Well, okay. We will. Oh, should we dab to Tom Cruise running or dab to some jams?
I don't know. Ask the audience.
Y'all, what you thinking? Aaron, you might have the most well versed ganja.
Brain Pain says it's no Pink Floyd. No, it's definitely not Pink Floyd. It is not Pink Floyd.
But then again, is Pink Floyd even Pink Floyd sometimes? I'm kidding. No, the real question here. You're British, so you need to have the most elaborate answer possible right here.
Okay.
Roger Waters or Syd Barrett?
Do what?
Roger Waters or Syd Barrett, Pink Floyd?
I just like all Pink Floyd. Hi.
So Syd Barrett, like OG Pink Floyd, or
OG,
like
yeah, OG.
Okay, I can
OG.
respect it. Risk that copyright strike. Hey, we might be in for it. Can you hear
Pink
this
Floyd?
giant ass torch
Pink Floyd
going
is
right
a
now?
band that I really like and I respect, but they're not in my rotation.
Aye.
I really like classic rock, and they definitely fall under that. But my go-tos are going to be bands like Motorhead, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Nirvana. Fuck, who else? Like literally anyone you can think of. Pink Floyd sometimes appears in my playlists, but not
Did
as
you grow up
often
in the
as you think.
90s?
I did.
I couldn't tell. Do you like my torch that feels like a fucking lightsaber?
Have you seen that? You've seen Hacksmith Industries, who make the lightsabers. They released one that you can actually buy.
The
It's
little
like
tiny
$200.
the proto ones.
It's like $200, but you can buy it. Five Finger Death Punch, yeah, absolutely love them. They're probably one of my favorite bands ever. Disturbed. These are more recent bands that I enjoy.
Shall we risk it for the biscuit, good sir?
Yeah, you got to unmute it though. Those music sounds.
What were you saying?
The music is like a child has written it. Like a child has just written a story, and these guys have turned it into a song. And it's the best description I can think of for this, because it would fit very well as an opening theme tune for a TV show.
Oh, easily. I mean, it almost feels like a Rick and Morty sketch. Like, it's great. Yes. Okay, a little more. The artwork reminds me of the animated show Mr. Pickles. If it ends, we'll leave it on the AI. That's
It's a whole story in the song. It's like... But the whole band has like characters, and there's a whole mythology behind them. Because the lead singer is actually from another band, which the name escapes me, but essentially he left the band, and in that band he was known as Angus McFife, and had this sword.
Okay.
No, he had a hammer. Sorry, he had a hammer, and in the song "Master of the Universe," which was their debut song, it's like a reawakening and like a rebirth of Angus McFive, who is now Angus McSix. And he chucks the hammer away and gets the epic sword, and it's so good. It's so good.
That's badass. Do they almost do like a David Bowie thing, where like per album, like you know how he had like a character?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, the characters are Angus McSix, the guy, and then you've got, I don't know what the skeleton guy's name is, but he's the evil guy.
Skeleton.
And then the rest of them are just like side characters and stuff. But yeah, it's good. It's good shit. It's good shit.
It looks fun. I'm gonna have to finish it later. But in the vein of good story, my friend. Hold up, you don't have to change it back. I'm about to pull something else up. Oh. Our last thing, Collider article here, the 25 best movies of 2023 so far. So, I guess we could have started out with this. We could have made this a little bit of a game. We should do games.
Oh, this is a game of how many movies has Matt seen? Spoiler, none of them.
Oh, that's true. Well, if it looks good, like you'd want to see it, give me a thumbs up.
So films I want to be on here, and I can see a few of them in there. I want Guardians in there because I want to see that. John Wick because I need to see the fourth one. Into the Spider-Verse, I absolutely need to see that. I'm hoping the Flash is in this movie, in this list somewhere, because I do want to see it, even though it might not be great, but it's still the Flash.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right. What else has come out this year? I don't know. Let's just have a look at the list.
We're in. It's July 3rd now, so it's kind of like we're past 6 months in. We've had half.
We're over halfway through. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
So yeah, this is kind of like that so far. All right. Let's see. I haven't even checked out this list yet. I don't know what order this is. Is Aaron number 25?
Wait, is that Chris O'Dowd?
No. That's Ben Affleck.
That looks like Chris O'Dowd from the tiny picture I can see.
No, it's Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Viola Davis.
Okay, yeah, no, I've just made it bigger. It does look like Chris O'Dowd.
It does. I don't know why it's at number 25. I'm going to give this a thumbs up, though.
What's it about?
It is about Michael Jordan getting signed by Nike for Air Jordan.
Oh yes, I saw the trailer for this. It did look good. I wanted to see that.
Excellent. All right, so thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Anything with Michael Jordan in, I love that guy.
Aye. So, Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret. It's based off of a book.
Okay.
Here, yeah, it's a Judy Blume novel. That's right. So it's one that I would give it like a mid. I don't have like the biggest interest in it necessarily. A good old Judy Blume, nothing wrong with Judy Blume. I like Judy Blume. But it's not like the thing I tend to seek out. But it looks decent, so it's something I would watch just for the sake of watching. It's just I didn't go buy a ticket,
What's it about? Do we know?
Does it say here?
It's a very obscure title, so I can't really tell from there. But Rachel McAdams is in it.
Yeah, and it has a great cast, and it's supposed to be really good. Yeah, I don't truly remember what it's about. It says it covers religion to puberty, essentially.
Okay.
So it's one of those films that is
more of a coming of age kind of story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not usually the kind of stuff I'd watch, but
yeah, I cheated, so I went sideways. We're adding a third answer.
I'm going to say no. As much as I love Rachel McAdams,
Yeah, I mean that's just the thing. Not everybody wants to watch every film, and that's just one of those films that you're either like ecstatic for. You read the book when you were a kid, and like there you go.
I might end up watching it. It might be something to watch with the missus, and it might be one of the films that we absolutely love. But
yeah,
based on what I've just seen, no interest.
Yeah. All right, next up, Asteroid City. All right, I'm giving this one a thumbs up. I just saw this and put a out of theater reaction on MQ, so go check it out.
Okay, and what's it about?
It is. That's a great question.
You've just seen it. You don't know what it's about.
Well, it's in the reaction I called it like Wes Andersonception. It's kind of like there's a play within a movie within kind of a real world happening event going on,
right?
And then there's like there's also a narrator who kind of hops in at different times. It's interesting.
Okay.
It's about an alien coming down to a small town that is sectioned off by the government because of all these happenings, kind of to a degree, and
okay.
they're just living. Yeah, it sounds more sci-fi than what it is, but it is. Right. It's Wes Anderson. Do you know who Wes Anderson is? Like the Grand Budapest Hotel, Royal Tenenbaums. He's like a very particular director. This is
right.
Yeah, Fantastic Mr. Fox. You seen that one?
I've seen bits of. Yeah.
Aye, that same guy.
Right.
Great cast: Tom Hanks, Scarlett Johansson, Bryan Cranston, Jason Schwartzman.
Cranston's in it. Ooh.
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, great cast.
I love anything with Bryan Cranston in it. Have you seen Your Honor? Your Honor is so good. It's a Bryan Cranston TV show, and he's a judge essentially, and he kind of, in the same way Walter White went from model citizen to absolute like crime lord. It's kind of the same sort of thing from what I've seen so far. Like he's kind of changing the way he deals with crimes, like with rulings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So like leaning more towards like letting people off, and it's good. It's good. I've not seen all of it. I've only seen a couple, like a few episodes, but it's very good.
Well, he's excellent in everything he does. He's someone I'm surprised doesn't have like an Oscar, but he hasn't done like, I guess
he's not done many movies though.
But yeah, and the ones he doesn't necessarily do for like notoriety. He does for I guess money and fun, or as a favor to somebody he knows or something. I don't know.
I mean, not getting an Oscar for his performance in Power Rangers, that was just
Oh, of course, or Godzilla, or was he in RoboCop?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've not seen the new one.
But
newer one.
He's the narrator in Asteroid City, so it's fun because he's one of the things that makes you not realize if something is like actually part of where it is, where it actually belongs.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Okay.
But Asteroid City, thumbs up on my part. Ooh, Bo is oh god, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Bo is afraid. This is Ari Aster. Did you see Midsommar or Hereditary?
Nope. I've not heard of this film either. No, not even in passing.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix though. Here he is. This it got a thumbs up for me. Most people it should probably get about like a if you ever come along it and watch it. It's not for everybody. It's like it's also one very hard to explain. This guy has a bunch of anxiety issues. He's got a bunch of he may or may not have a couple different mental illnesses, and he doesn't necessarily know what's real or not. And it kind of plays along those lines. He kind of goes down a few different
And is Joaquin Phoenix the main character then?
Oh yeah, it's completely about him. You follow him. Well, not completely about him, but it's very nearly completely about him, and it's interesting. But it's 3 hours long, and it doesn't necessarily make sense.
He's good at portraying characters with mental problems.
Yeah, and this epitomizes it. Yeah.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing because it means you might get typecast into that kind of role, but I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't like Kevin Spacey on us, knock on wood. But thumbs up, but sideways probably most people.
I'm going to say thumbs up because it's Joaquin Phoenix, and if it's about mental illnesses and he's portraying that, I want to see it because I love those kind of films.
It's not like any of those kind of films, but it's one that you should watch. It's very non-conventional. Unconventional.
Well, I love anything that highlights mental illness. One of my favorite films that does this is The Number 23. It's Jim Carrey, I think. Or Number 27. It's 23 or 27, I can't remember, but essentially he thinks he can see the number 27 everywhere and he thinks it has meaning, and ultimately it's just because he's mental and he's got problems. But it's a really good film.
Interesting.
I don't know if everyone would agree and say it's a really good film, but I really like it because of
and Jim Carrey's when he gets into something, It's great.
Is it The Number 23? I'm really doubting myself now.
I don't know. But Bo's Afraid, good one. Oh, I haven't seen this one. This is just about the founding of BlackBerry.
Oh, it is The Number 23. Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Jordan, right? But BlackBerry, I'd give it a thumbs up. I just haven't seen the damn thing yet. This is about the founding of BlackBerry. It's got a really good cast.
Oh, okay.
That's Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is just a funny thing.
I do like movies like that as well, about origins of particular things. Social Network I really enjoyed. There was a Steve Jobs film that I really enjoyed as well.
Which one? The Ashton Kutcher or the
Ashton Kutcher one? Yeah.
I haven't seen the Ashton Kutcher one, but Michael Fassbender one's great. Because Ashton Kutcher straight up looks like him and stuff. It's funny.
Yeah. There's a film. I don't know if it came out this year or if it was last year, about Tetris, and that looked really good.
Yes,
I think it was just called Tetris.
It's probably going to be on this damn list.
Yeah, but that looked really, really good.
I still haven't seen it yet either. It's on Apple TV, I think, but I need to watch it. But BlackBerry gets thumbs up for me.
Yeah, it get a thumbs up from me if I got around to watching it.
Oh yeah. Woo. Yep. This is easy for me. Creed 3. Thumbs up.
I can't give it a thumbs up. I've not.
You can go sideways or
My
down.
catchphrase is just gonna have to be, I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
I've not seen any of the Rocky films. My best mate is always like, "You've never
That's
seen
right.
Rocky? How have you never seen Rocky?" Like, he loves those films, and I'm like, I just haven't watched them.
They're not necessarily hit or miss. They're more good than bad. And the ones that are bad aren't really like bad, you know. They're just not as good as the good ones. The good ones are great, you know. But thumbs up for me just because I love it all. But this one's easy.
Oh, I really want to see this. I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Thumbs up.
Like, just the game. I love it.
Yes.
So and this apparently like is really good at capturing the what's the word, spontaneity of a campaign.
Yeah.
So when you're playing tabletop or you're playing
well.
online or you're doing a campaign,
Mhm.
things happen out of nowhere and you have to and shenanigans basically ensue when you're playing the game, and it's always really fun because of stuff like that. And I've heard this film really captures that, which is why I want to watch it.
It does. It even includes like a cameo from one of the movies, like from like the TV show, from like the animated characters. I think it's funny. It's great. But it does that. I haven't ever played the game, but I really want to. But it feels like you're playing a game alongside them, and it's really fun.
You look incredibly spaced.
Well, I just put those eye drops in. I'm hoping that helps my eyes, but my eyes get red as hell. And damn, that was a good dab. Good first dab of the day. So, thumbs up for Guardians. We've got a lot of go.
It's always going to be a thumbs up for Guardians.
Hell yeah. That one's simple. Guardians is great. I don't know what the hell this is.
How to blow up a pipeline. That sounds cool.
It does sound cool. Based on the manifesto of the same name, which itself is worth reading as a beast all its own, it takes the basic idea, then gives the narrative shape and form. Well, I don't know the narrative. Well, just upon the name, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Rocky 5 was the only really iffy one. Yeah. That's I kind of agree.
This is why I don't watch classic films, because like there's 5 of them at least.
Well, and then there's Rocky Balboa, and now there are 3 Creeds.
Maybe I'll just watch the first one and then I'll skip to Creed.
Well, you could do that technically. Yeah. But I'm gonna give this thing a thumbs up. I don't know about it. I don't know about this either. Who's Sarah, the Bone Woman?
No, I don't know. It sounds like a question. Who's Sarah? The Bone Woman.
It kind of is a question. So it's a unnerving horror movie. Okay. Well, I'll give it a middle of the road because I like.
I'm going to give it a thumbs down. I don't do horror.
Oh, I love horror movies.
I'm not into it. Because
I've
watched so many things with blood and gore and like ghosts and stuff in the like. I'm just desensitized to it, so I just don't bother. John Wick. I need to see the third one.
You still haven't seen the third? Parabellum's great.
No, because I watched the first 2 within about a week. So the first one, I absolutely loved it. Second one, I watched, and I thought this is boring compared. I really didn't like it. So I thought I had the third one ready to go, but I thought if the second one is anything to go by, I'm not going to really enjoy the third one, so I didn't bother. But then the John Wick 4 come out, and I saw clips from it, and I went, "Oh, this looks really fucking good."
It's fun, but there are parts of it that kind of slow down. You feel that it's like almost a 3-hour freaking movie, you know. But I like the first one, the third one, the fourth one, the second one. I think best.
Okay,
that's.
I will watch the third one at some point.
First,
Watch the
what do you
first
say?
two Rocky films before you jump to Creed. All right.
Yeah. And then there are technically 6.
Are they streaming anywhere? Because if they're streaming somewhere, I could just watch them whenever I want.
Rocky and Creed is MGM, isn't it? Wouldn't it be on Prime?
Maybe. Let's have a
I
look.
think.
Rocky.
Let's
Ooh,
see what's
yes,
happening.
it is. It is on Prime, and I don't have to pay for it.
Ooh,
Even better.
That's the best. Okay, so next up though we have Linoleum.
This looks like some like a sci-fi.
Yeah, maybe he's wearing a NASA suit. Is that Jim Gaffigan? Yeah.
Rhea Seehorn, isn't that? Hang on, scroll up. Isn't that? Yeah, she's from Better Call Saul. Yeah.
So Gaffigan stars as Cameron Edwin, the host of an unpopular children's science show that continues to dream he might one day go to the stars. After Cameron sees a man that looks exactly like him fall from the sky, he begins to build his own rocket in his garage. But it's the way Linoleum folds in on itself and explores the past, present, and future as one that makes it a compelling and unique vision. Oh, I like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'd give it a thumbs up just from the person who wrote that little tiny tidbit about it. They did well. They convinced me. I honestly, would have thought I would seen more of these films. Master Gardener, I never saw this one either. I wanted to see it. Paul Schrader.
No, I don't care about gardening.
Well, I don't think it's so much about gardening. I think it's more like I think it's gangstery, with Sigourney Weaver. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Let's see. Past Lives, another A24. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up just because it's A24. I think it's still in theaters right now, but I'm not positive. I need to check the thing out. I need to check it out because A24 films are great. Would you go thumbs up or? Huh?
I'll just go middle because no opinion.
Aye. Polite Society. Do you like Bollywood and Tollywood films?
I don't mind some of them.
They're fun. No, they're fun. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I need to watch
the
more.
ones I've seen are always very campy, very because I always looked for the the Bollywood rip-offs.
The camp is some of the joy.
My favorite things about Bollywood rip-offs are the stunts. Like they're just on a motorbike and they'll go up and then they're flying for about 20 minutes.
Completely CG for like the next it's perfect. Have I ever told you to watch Corridor Crew? Because they're fucking.
I love
great.
Corridor Crew, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Have you seen them do the Bollywood and like Tollywood reactions and stuff?
No, I've not watched them do that.
They're great. The VFX artists react to like Bollywood. It's
I've not watched too much of the VFX React stuff. I used to watch them just Corridor Digital.
Yeah.
So their skits that they used to do, and then I've watched a few of their recreations since. So they did a recreation on, I think, the Luke CGI. I'm sure they did that.
Yeah.
And they did a better version of that. And they've done some deepfakes with like Tom Cruise and stuff, which were really good.
Really they made some cool lightsaber stuff. They've done a lot of stuff, which is they're cool.
I used to take a lot of inspiration from them back when I was making videos like 10 years ago. Like they're the reasons why I learned After Effects, because of their my favorite video they ever did was dubstep guns, and it was this was when dubstep was at its like peak popularity. They essentially just had these guns, and when they fired them, it would just play dubstep. But the video is so good. Like if you have 5 minutes, just type in dubstep guns. The artist they use is called Claypex, and the songs are really good, really fucking good.
Well, I mean, I trust them to make anything really good, so I'll check it out because
It's a classic.
They're so good. I don't know. They crack me up. All right, so Polite Society. Thumbs up maybe for me. I'll go thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up because it's probably going to be campy as fuck, and I'll probably enjoy it.
Fun as hell. Okay, this looks like the opposite of campy as fucking fun as hell.
This looks like it's going to make me sad.
This looks like it's gonna make me very sad. It's reality is one of the most intense, gripping thrillers of the year. Quite the feat when you consider it mainly unravels in real time, takes place in one location, and pulls most of its script from FBI transcripts. Oh,
Okay.
that sounds terrifying. I'm in, but it does sound terrifying.
I'm gonna have to go in a minute.
Okay. I think we're almost done. Right? Let's see. Do you want to speed round this thing?
No, that's fine. Go as quick as you want. I'll probably just jump out at some point.
Hey, well, we're pretty close. RMN. I don't know what this is.
No, I don't know. Some sort of survival.
It's set in a village in Transylvania and Romanian acronym for nuclear magnetic resonance. I'm gonna give it a middle, maybe. Yeah,
Could be good. Could be good.
Could be good. If I ever come along, I might check it out. I don't know. Rye Lane. Don't know this one either. Damn, I thought I would have seen more films in this. Rom-com is a dying genre. That's certainly not the case, and Rye Lane's here to prove it. Oh, okay. Fun little rom-com. I'd go
like
somewhere. Yeah, somewhere middle up.
Yeah.
Middle up. No hard feelings. Great rom-com right now. That shit's actually fantastic. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. The Jennifer Lawrence one, great. Showing Up. I don't know it.
No opinion at all.
Oh, but it's Kelly Reichardt. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's the same lady that directed First Cow, and First Cow is amazing. That's Hong Chow, and is that that's not Kerry Russell. Who is that? Is that Michelle Williams? I don't know. I don't know. Now that I see that it's Kelly Reichardt, I'm giving it a thumbs up. I really like the director, but that means it's probably a super slow burn movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like super slow burn. So yeah, thumbs up for me. What you thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a middle. I have no opinion.
Aye. This one, it's supposed to be super trippy horror movie. I'm giving it a super thumbs up. I would think you would give it.
Is it like a horror?
It's like a super trippy horror movie that's supposed to be super unconventional. I should have seen it while I was in movie theaters, but I missed it. It's one that I really do want to see though. Hey, easy thumbs up. That's an easy one.
Not even seen it yet, but I know it's going to be amazing.
I'm glad it's this far up on the list. I'm surprised that the one that surprises me the most is Air was number 25. Like that's wild. Still a Michael J. Fox movie.
I really want to fucking see this film.
Yeah, I'm surprised the documentary's on here, but if it's that good, I'm giving it a freaking thumbs up. That's what all I know.
Yeah. Where is that streaming? Is that on Apple or is that on? It was either on like Paramount or Apple. I swear. I think.
Does it say?
I don't know where it was. Hang on. Still.
Yeah. I don't know.
Michael.
Oh, image via Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew it was on a service I didn't have.
Shite. I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Massive thumbs up. I fucking love Michael J. Fox.
Oh, he's great. The Starling Girl. Eliza Scanlon. Okay, I couldn't remember her name off the top of my head. And Lewis Pullman. It's a good cast. I don't know enough about it. It's a directorial debut, emotionally devastating. Story of faith, betrayal, and links of one person goes to uncover their own self-worth. Oh, okay. I like it. That's interesting. And I like the cast. Directorial debuts are always cool. I always like checking out someone's initial vision, especially if it's amazing, and they get the right budget and stuff. Give it a middle, thumbs up, down.
Middle. No real
Alright.
opinions on that.
1001. Damn, another one I don't know. Writer director
I
A.B.
don't know this
Rockwell's
one.
feature debut. Another feature debut. It looks sad again. An ambitious one, not only tell the story of Mother Inez and her son Terry, and over the course of a decade, but okay, gentrification of New York City over the 21st century. That's interesting. I give it a thumbs up. I like feature debuts. I just said the same thing for the last one.
I'll give it middle.
Yeah, looks like a good cast. You hurt my feelings. No, I didn't see this one. I had to think about that.
Like 80% of this list, 90, maybe 95% of this list, I'm just like, nah, no opinion. Because
Well, like, I'm
never heard
60,
of them all.
70% there. I'm shocked. These are a lot of like. I mean, I'm glad there's this many small films on this.
It
That means
feels like this list is more, I don't know, not
well
what the
researched,
audience,
not, like,
what the
general.
audience would have picked, more
Aye,
what that
yeah.
person who wrote it picked. It's
That's
an opinion. It's more of an opinion piece than a these are the films you have to watch kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I like that they include small films. I thought I watched a bunch of them. This is an A24 film. It says it in that little thing right there, I guess. In the box. But yeah, A24. I like the cast. I'd give it a thumbs up. Oh, and that's the best one? That's it? You Hurt My Feelings is supposed to be the best film of the year? A24? I mean, I trust A24. And A24 made Everything Everywhere All at Once last year. Best film, you know?
You're going to have to watch it and then do a...
Tick it or skip it, out of theater reaction, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
All the above.
Is this really the best film of the year?
Yeah, hey, that's a good idea. We just took the entire time to go through all this, just to find out or not if this was the actual best film of the year.
Oh God, where is it? There you go.
Hey, there we go. Oh, so that makes it easy. All right. Well, damn, I'm baked as hell. Oh shoot, I just saw you, Aaron. I have not been reading the comments, but thumbs ups. That was fun. We should start with a game next time. I like the idea. I'm knocking everything around now. But yeah, that was fun. Find more of those articles. Do some shite.
Next time I join, I'll probably look at actually what you're going to talk about and do a bit of research because you sent me the message this morning when I was at work. I went, yeah, I might join, and then I just joined.
Well, you're welcome. Hopping in. Damn right.
Got busy making those overlays.
Well, they're beautiful. Everybody appreciate Matt's beautiful overlays right now. He literally made them in like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, this is literally no effort, but I'm gonna make some nice ones.
It was 2 minutes of very intense effort. We watched it.
There was a lot of swearing involved.
Rightfully so. But
there always is with everything I do.
Of course, it's necessary. But I might head on out of here in a second, huh?
Yeah, I've got to jump off anyway.
Aye, well, in the spirit of I think what was it, last stream, 2 streams ago, something like that, 3 streams ago, something like that. Give us your social media stuff. Give us your YouTube, all that good stuff.
Follow me on Twitter at Matt the Dean. Actually, no. The only thing I want to plug is 9 Chevrons has a forum now.
Yes.
Forum.9chevron. Just go to 9chevrons.com and just click the forum link. It's good shit. I spent I spent nowhere like 2 days adding categories, adding subcategories, just to get every aspect of like Stargate fandom in one place. So there's like places for fanfics, there's places for so there's a section for new Stargate and Stargate movies, and there's a section for if you were a director, what would your ideas be? What would your scripts be? Literally anything you can think of. If you want to talk about Stargate or any other sci-fi fantasy TV show, because there are sections for that as well, it's the place to go. There's not many members on there right now, but we're trying to grow it. There's only like 7 people on there so far. And that's literally just from posting it on Facebook and Discord, because I didn't get to do it yesterday on the live stream, which I was quite upset about. But yeah, that's the only thing I want to.
Do you have, can we put something out right now or no? Is there something?
Yes. So we can do a link here. forum.9chevrons.com. Security's still keeping me out of 9 chevrons. It won't be any more brain pain because So the problems we were having with 9 chevrons was it's built on WordPress, the whole blog, because it's a good content management system, but it's not very good at forums. So I've made an entirely new subdomain, installed specific forum software on it, which is way more secure and easy to access. So you should be good. You should be good. So you won't have an account anymore because everyone had to start from scratch. Because I initially just like closed it down and said, yes, go to Discord. But I wanted a place. Because the justification for having a forum as well as a Discord is the forum is public, which means more people will see it, and they have much greater reach on things like Google search and just the wider internet, whereas Discord is more of a intimate setting for fans to get together and have a live discussion. But yeah, go and check it out.
Yes, But yeah.
And that's me plugging it. That's it. That's it done.
9 chevrons. It's the place to be for Stargate and for anything fun. You know, it's gonna be great. Come on, y'all. Come on. We had 3-4 people in here just a second ago. Everybody, hop on it. Actually, those 3-4 people are very likely like part of it already. Those, but yeah, thank y'all for being here. I'm baked as hell. We enjoyed going to movies. Lots of thumbs ups. Lots of not lots of thumbs up. Lots of middle of the roads, just because we don't know half of them. But we'll get to them. We're gonna have to see if those things actually ring true or not. Top 25 films of the first half of the year. Yeah, we'll do it again in the second half of the year. And I do like the idea of putting games at like the beginning of the stream or something. That might be some fun stuff. I'll try to think up something. We can do, if we have enough people, we can do little movie game stuff. I can teach you the rules behind the game, or I have to probably think of the right way to say the rules. I'm too high to figure that out right now, but you know, we'll do that when it comes to it. But thank y'all for joining. Subscribe, like, hit notification bells, all the good stuff, all the good spiels. You know, check out all the other videos, all the other live streams, all the other shorts. Out of theater reactions keep popping in, keep popping out. So check it out. Later, Brain Pain. Later, Aaron. Later, everybody that's here. Thank y'all for being here. If David's still here, thank you. I know he's probably staying in the background. We will see y'all tomorrow. I will, at least.
He didn't end the broadcast. Right. See you there, everyone.